Welcome to season 2 of the Energy Upgrade podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa, master biohacker and successful entrepreneur. In season 1 of the Energy Upgrade, you got to have a taste for my obsession in all things health, energy, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and biohacking, or how to take radical responsibility in living a life by design. As a certified health coach, integrated health practitioner, kinesiologist, and seasoned entrepreneur who built and sold a 7-figure business, I want to dive deeper in this season 2. After healing myself from burnout, from my health falling apart, my hormones leaving my body, I'm here to share everything I wish someone had told me. Every day, I have the incredible opportunity to be mentoring women and supporting them in becoming true magnetic energy bombs. I'm helping them remember who they were all along. It's so powerful that I want to take you in on the journey, almost as if you were a fly on the wall. You'll find that I'm not your typical health coach, and I'm not your typical business coach either. I'm somewhere in between with a lot of spirituality sprinkled in there. This podcast is a sacred place where I come and share with you things that will bring you a high return on investment, because yes, I'm all about ROI. Life goes fast, and if I can show you a shortcut or two, I'll have succeeded at bringing you value. Thank you for being here. Let's go.
Your time is now. Your energy is your life force. You want to be able to magnetize your wildest dreams. A liver detox is the fastest way to start healing. You can and you will.
Hello, beautiful, high-achieving women, and welcome to another episode of the Energy Upgrade. Today, I'm coming to you after the Biohacking Mastery that recently happened. It was a beautiful 9-day event where I went live every day, sharing an hour plus masterclasses and really talking about this concept of biohacking and what it means to me, as well as the mindset that all of us, women on the rise, women who desire more, who are ready to evolve, step into their next iteration of themselves, what do we need to have in mind? And what was interesting is I had more than 500 women who signed up for this event, which blew me away. So many people came live day after day. So many on the replays. Our Facebook group was on fire, which, by the way, if you're not in the Energy Queen, which is my private Facebook group, what are you waiting for? Come and join this high vibe community. It's women only. It's only women who are wanting to heal themselves, feel better, women who have their businesses, who are ready to level up. And so this is a very, very high vibe container. And of course, you are invited to join it. Today, I was reflecting on this event and how powerful it was. And from the comments and the breakthroughs, the biggest, theme that stood out from those 9 days was the importance of mindset right now. We all know, we all feel it. The world is going a little bit crazy. There's a lot of unknown. We're not too sure where this is all going, whether it's like political chaos, environmental chaos, it's like health. It's crazy. Things are falling apart. And so it can be very unsettling on the nervous system. And how do we navigate this? And now we have fall coming up. And I know, just like you do, I have a feeling it's going to get really crazy again. So what do we do? How do we navigate this unknown? And I guess the one thing we all have left to deal with is our mindset. How can we have a strong, resilient nervous system? How can we make sure that we take control back of our health, that we stand really anchored in our worth, in our power, in our truth, so that when all these things are happening, they don't define us. Yes, we can be impacted. Yes, we can feel sad. Yes, we can feel scared. Yes, we can feel angry. But at the end of the day, that cannot become our MO, because we have our kids looking at us. These kids are needing to see the light. They're needing us to be inspiring them. They're needing us to be in our own strong leadership so we can show them the way. Our community is needing that. Our neighbors are needing that. And so it's really, that was the message of really, let's take radical responsibility for our thoughts, for our mindset, and let's just put our best foot forward every day. Because guess what happens if we all did that? If we all dialed the volume down on the news, on the noise, on what others are saying, and if we all dialed up on our own truth, on our alignment, on how we feel anchored in our power, that would change everything. And that's really what I want to do in my community. That's really what I want to do with my clients, because it's the one thing we can control. We can control how we show up. And I've heard this again and again last week from the hundreds of women that were live sharing how these teachings and this hard truth was a bit of a wake-up call. It was the reset that they needed. We self-sabotage ourselves day in, day out, and it's got to stop, because we can see now that nobody is coming to save us. We are the only ones left. So what are we going to do for ourselves so that we give ourselves a chance? We give ourselves, our body, a chance to heal. We give our nervous system a chance to be nurtured and to bounce back. We give our body a chance to be properly nourished. We give our thoughts the love and support that we need. And we also break free from old stories of the past and traumas and emotions that haven't been processed. We just let them go. We feel them and we give them safe passage out of the body so that they do not hold us down and don't define us. So obviously, we're not going to solve all of this in a 30-minute podcast episode. But the goal, as always, is to plant those seeds to get you to start thinking, to be curious, to wonder, is there something I could do different here? Is there something I need to take more responsibility for? Is there something I'm still pointing my finger at? Am I still playing the victim in some spheres of my life? Do I need to take ownership and sovereignty back? Because guess what? You hear me say this all the time, but seriously, the time is now. I find with fall, especially our immune system is going to be put to the test. And our immune system is directly linked to our mindset and to our nervous system and to our body and to our digestive system, to our hormones, all of this. It's all intertwined. It's all connected. So what can we do? So there's one day last week where I shared during Biohacking Mastery 3 ways to really become that magnetic leader in your life. And these 3 tips, what I like about them is they can be applied to whatever area of your life where you're applying your leadership. Maybe it is in running your business, in growing your business, in managing your team. Maybe it is at home, being the CEO of your household, with your kids, with your husband, with all the tasks that you have to do. Wherever you are working on your leadership. And remember, first and foremost, you are the leader of your life. Don't anyone let you tell you otherwise. So take that control back right here, right now. You are the leader of your life. So how can we dial it up in your leadership posture and make sure that it's a little bit cleaner? Make sure that we remove what's stuck, what's getting in the way, what's really holding you down. And so it doesn't matter whether you have a 6, 7, 8-figure business, whether you're just starting out, whether you're a leader in the corporate world, whether you're the CEO, like I said, of your home, or you're just trying to figure it out. You're just trying to figure out life. It doesn't matter, because like I said, you are the leader of your life, and the way you show up, your actions, your commitment, your consistency, your micro choices every single day speaks volume on the quality of your leadership right now. And this might sound like a hard truth, but I'm doing it with so much love and compassion for you, because that's how I needed to be talked to so I could wake up from this I'm not going to use the word dream, because to me, dream is something positive, but it's almost like we're totally oblivious to the fact that we're letting everything and everyone control our thoughts, our behaviors, and our life. So it's got to stop. It's got to stop, because I want you to be crushing those big dreams. I want you to create that life of abundance. I want you to have that energy, and I want you to feel like you can do this now. You have the bandwidth to do this now, to take on the new projects, to do the dream thing that you've been wanting to do, or just simply to allow yourself to rest and be a little bit more in your feminine energy. All of this and everything in between is awesome. Okay, so let's talk about these 3 tips. And I'm just going to be sharing them, but of course I invite you, if you're driving, obviously don't do that, but if you're not, maybe take a notebook and write these 3 things down and bring them in your next meditation, bring them in with you on your next walk. Think about them and think about how you apply these principles in your own life, because it will be very telling. Okay, number 1, be ready. We're starting hard. Stop being nice. Okay? Stop being nice and wanting to be liked by anyone and everyone. Because guess what? It's impossible. You're setting yourself up for failure. You cannot be loved by everyone. There's always going to be someone that doesn't love the way you dress, your hair, your thoughts, the way you express yourself, your accent, your jewelry, the way you walk. There's always going to be someone who doesn't like it. And you know what? That's okay. We just have to do a better job at speaking our truth and therefore attracting our own tribe. Right? Once we realize that we cannot be it for everybody, it's so liberating. And being nice, especially if you are a woman entrepreneur listening, if you have your own business, you've got to stop being nice. You have to start sharing your own truth. You have to start sharing what do you believe in? What do you care about? Why are you different? Why are you not like everyone else? Because in business, nobody wants to do business with everyone. People want to do business with people that are rare and special, people that bring true value to our lives. We don't want to do business with people that are nice. We can say hi in the low and be really nice to those people, nice back, but we're not going to hire them, because being nice usually has an awkward energetic tie to it. It's usually a feeling that will attract some pity, some like, oh yeah, she's been so nice, I'm just going to buy this because she's been so nice to me. You don't want that energy. You don't want that. You want to attract to attract health, money, abundance, success. You need to stop being nice. That's not where money and that's not where abundance circulates. Money, abundance, love, success will circulate in places where it flows, it's unique, it's anchored in your own truth. You're not trying to be it for everybody. You're not trying to pretend to be the people that you think others want you to be. You are you. And you are anchored in your sense of worth. You know you're worthy. You know you're worthy. So it doesn't matter what your title is, how much revenue you bring in. It doesn't matter. All these things are just external metrics. Once you remember that you are worthy to begin with, that you are rare, unique, and that you have a very high value, a big impact to bring to this world, then you just can sit in that and just be you. Okay, so remember, nobody wants to do business with everyone. In fact, even in friendship, we want friends that will add value to our life. Okay, so we don't want that pity, awkward energy. So remember that, and always try to think, why are you people? So this is also like really tied into people pleasing. You have to know your value. What are you unique and awesome at what you do? Why is what you're offering different? What makes you different? Can you please reflect on this? Don't brush it off. This is really important. What are your boundaries? What are you a hell yes for? And what are you a hell no for? And can you honor that? Even in the times when you have the little voice, the ego saying, oh, you should really go to this thing, or you should really go to this thing. If it's not in alignment with how you're feeling here and now today, if it's not in alignment with where you're wanting to go, if it's something you don't want to go because you'll know you'll be miserable, you say no, period, right? We've all heard this, but no is a full sentence. You don't need to justify, because the minute you start justifying, you give the other person's your power. So you stay anchored in your power, you know your worth, and you honor your boundaries. But of course, to honor your boundaries, you have to know what they are. And that requires a little bit of thinking. What do you value in life? What are you a non-negotiable for? What are you not ready to do, even if someone pays you money for it? What are some of your principles that are absolutely non-negotiable? What's great about that reflection is it also allows you to live your life from a place of integrity. And that is such a beautiful energy. It's very magnetic. People want that. So remember, what are your boundaries and can you really honor them? For example, I'm not really willing to work with women who are looking for a quick fix or a magic pill. For the women that are asking me for results after 2 days in, like that's not the vibe that I'm for. There's lots, in fact, there's an entire healthcare system based around that principle. You can go there if that's what you want. But I know it hasn't worked for me, and I know that that's not my approach. And so I'm going the holistic way, and you're in or you're out, and it doesn't matter. I won't take it personal. If you decide that you want the magic pill because of the state you're in your life, that's awesome. As long as that's in integrity with what you want, then go for it, right? And don't do it without the guilt. That's also very important. So stop saying the things others want to hear and not the things you truly stand for. Don't be afraid to show your colors. I can tell you with the arrival of AI, ChatGPT, it's more important than ever, especially if you have a business, that you show your colors, that you use your words, that you do not give the copywriting away, that you keep your voice, because it's all going to be blending in very, very soon. I can already see anything that's been written by ChatGPT now. I know it because it's always the same. So it's only been a few months in and I already can tell, and I'm not here for it. I'm not interested. I want to do business with real humans, right? So think about that. Think about your ideal client as well. And that's really when you stand in your truth, when you show your colors, when you recognize your value, you're going to magnetize the ideal clients. You're going to magnetize the love of your life. You're going to magnetize the abundance, because that's the energy we want. It's not sticky. It's not icky. It's clean. We want that. Okay. So that was point number 1. Hey, I'm interrupting this episode because I need to come to talk to you about Fall Queen. Yes, fall is upon us, and I strongly believe that as women, we are cyclical by nature. And I want you to embrace the seasons, the changes in our bodies, the changes in our mindset. And I want to give you all the tools so that you can rise no matter what season we're in. It's with that intention that I've designed Fall Queen after the success of Summer Queen. Fall Queen is a 6-week intensive program where we're going to be diving into shifting your mindset, detoxing your body, your environment for renewed health and energy. We're going to be diving into all of what the woman is craving in the fall season. So nourishment, immunity support, nervous system support, and of course, detoxification, because it's always a big part of it. These topics will be discussed all while acquiring unique knowledge around toxin elimination, emotional and somatic releases, and detoxification of your environment. This program is really going to help you not only get more energy, but boost your natural immunity, increase your resilience, and shift your mindset so you can finish 2023 like a true queen. So if this program is of interest to you, we're starting October 19th for 6 consecutive weeks. Every Thursdays, you get the replays if you can't join us live. You get full access to me on Telegram. We get to text each other and become besties. I'm here to support you, your health, and your progression. I want to support you rising. We're also going to have our unique Facebook community of aligned women who are ready to make this fall just their best one yet. So if you're curious, I'm going to put the link in the show notes. It's 6 weeks for $9.97. This is my most inexpensive program. It's the best way to join my universe and take advantage of the energy of the vortex so you can start transforming here and now today. I hope to see you there. And of course, if you have any questions, remember you can always book a connect call with me so that we can get to know each other and I can best guide you on how I can support you and your expansion. I hope to see you in Fall Queen this fall. Now, we're going on to number 2. And if you're listening to this podcast, I know that this one will hit home and might be a bit triggering. So I'm just giving you a heads up. So number 2 is ditch the perfection and be willing to take consistent, imperfect actions. Like I said, I know that you're probably operating as a perfectionist, even maybe labeling and calling yourself a perfectionist. And no judgment here. I'm a full-on recovering perfectionist. I'm still not perfectly recovered. I still have my moments. But what's great is now I'm able to catch myself. Perfection, when you think of it, when you're holding that email, holding that project, holding that proposal, holding that, starting the podcast, starting your Instagram business account, whatever it is, when you're holding it because you're not ready yet, it's got to be perfect. You haven't thought it through yet. What you're doing, in fact, is you're paralyzing yourself. You are stalling your evolution. You are stalling your progression. And I don't know about you, but I do not have time to get stalled. So we have to see this for what it is. The thing is, it will never be perfect enough to your standards. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. Like, when you're wanting the thing to be perfect, you'll stall it for weeks because you're wanting it to be perfect, but it will never be perfect enough to your standards. So what do we do? When we peel back the layers on perfectionism, what do we truly find? Because it sounds good. I remember this was like, probably 20 years ago in high school. One teacher had said, when you're going to be starting these interviews for your first jobs, and they ask you what is the one thing that you need to work on or improve, say that you're a perfectionist. That always wins extra points because this is great. That's like the best thing. And I think back on this now and I'm like, well, no wonder all women in my generation were all stuck with that problem because that's literally what we've been taught to become. And that's not okay, because when you look under the hood of perfectionism, what are we finding? We're finding a need for absolute control. So let's call it the way it is. We've become control freaks. I don't know about you, but I do not want that for me or for my life. That is not something I want. And so we have built this impression that we always need to project the image that we have it all figured out, that it's all perfect. We have, we're already ahead of the curve. We're ahead of everybody and we've got this. But really what it is, it's also an armor. It's a fake wall that we build around ourselves so we can hide our fear and our vulnerability. Right? When I first saw that for what it was, I was shocked. It took me a moment, and that might be you right now, to be like, what? Okay, wait, what? I'm going to have to listen to this again. And the more I ponder on it, the more I realize it was the absolute truth. I had become a control freak And I was always trying to project this mask. I was wearing this mask, trying to project this image. I had it all figured out and everything was good. But underneath, I was crumbling by fear, and I was not ready to show my vulnerable side. And that was scaring me as hell. And so it's really a mechanism that our nervous system has found to keep us safe when you think of it, right? And also it keeps us small, let's be honest. So what's interesting is when you really realize, okay, being a perfectionist allows me to wear this fake mask where I can stay in control of everything. I'm not going to delegate anything. I'm going to keep doing it all. I'm going to burn myself out, but it doesn't matter because I will be in control. And I will be projecting this image that I am perfect and I have all figured out. Can you see how we're setting ourselves for absolute failure? It's not sustainable. It just isn't, right? So we're going to have to decide to lower our standards. Again, I'm not saying like do a shitty job and start sending like awful emails that haven't been proofread. Like, it's not at all what I'm talking about. I think you know what I'm talking about. And you know what's really, really interesting is when you start playing around with this concept of imperfect actions, you can start really small. You can start with things at home that if ever shit hits the fans, like nobody's going to really care and nothing can really happen, right? So start building evidence with the things that really are silly of you to be wanting to control this much. I'll give you an example. Let's talk about the famous laundry conversation at home. So folding the laundry, for example, we all have our way of doing it. And we all think that our way is the best way. But the reality is, does it really matter when our husband does it the way he folds it? Does it really matter that it's not exactly the way we're doing it? No. Who cares? Because guess what? It's folded, right? Like the minute you start realizing that we obsess over ridiculous things and we actually keep ourselves small from these things, because that's taking bandwidth. It's taking brain space when you're in that energy, and it's a massive energy steal. And it's time for you to see it. You have to see it. Okay. So you have to realize that lowering your standards, even just a little bit, like sometimes 80%, is just as good as 100% if someone else did it, because guess what? You had more time, and hopefully you were able to use this time wisely for self-care, for nurturing your nervous system, or doing other things to heal your body, heal your mind, and shift your mindset. Okay. So this is a powerful mindset move. And if you start doing that, if you start leaning into imperfect action, if you start giving yourself more grace, if you start just trying, if you start trusting people around you just a little bit more, what you end up doing is you start building more comfort around it. And then you'll start leaning into it a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. And one of the best way to burst the perfectionism bubble is to remember your worth, right? So it doesn't matter. Actually, the way you're sending an email is not going to change your worth. I know this is difficult to understand because we've been led to believe that all these external things define who we are. But when you really, really go back to remembering that when you were born worthy, and you weren't sending emails at that time. You weren't making any money, yet you still were worthy of love and respect and of abundance and flow and health in your body. You still were worthy of all these things from the second you were born. What has changed? The only thing that has changed are our thoughts that we've picked up along the way from societal, parental, religious, cultural, whatever it is, political beliefs that have been implied on us, right? So it's time to just remember your worth. And then the other thing is have fun. just start having fun in life. Have just a little bit more fun, and you'll see that you're going to stop taking yourself so seriously. And it'll be so much easier to take imperfect action, because also it's going to force you to be vulnerable and to be like, listen, I'm sending you this proposal. It's not perfect, but I'm sending it to you, and let's talk. Let's have a conversation, because I know it can still evolve and I want your take on this. How amazing is that? Like, you would have someone reaching out saying this, you wouldn't even think twice on it. You'd be like, yeah, let's hop on a call, right? You're not going to think, oh, this person is not perfect. This person is not ready. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You're not going to say this, right? So always remember, have fun and be willing to be vulnerable. Okay. Hopefully this lands. And it's something that you're not going to change tomorrow, but it's definitely something that you can start leaning and being curious about. And like I said, start with things that are small. Start with things at home that are not going to have a massive impact on everything, every sphere of your life, right? So don't start doing this maybe with big proposals, but maybe start with, like I said, laundry folding, dishwasher emptying, those kind of things. And keep me posted, please. Like, let me know if you've started leaning into any of this, and what was the outcome? Because I guarantee you there's only magic on the other side. Okay, last but not least, this one might be even hard for you to comprehend, but I think it's perfect as you're listening to this. The third point is acknowledging that you are in the room. This is such a big mindset shift, because most of the time, here we are, you are listening to this podcast right now, and you're not even acknowledging that you actually are part of this conversation with me. We keep thinking that things are happening outside of us. They're not. And we keep also wishing, oh, I wish I had a place at the table. I wish I could be part of this conversation. I wish I'd get invited to this event. I wish I could be invited to be part of this mastermind. We always wish these things without even realizing that we're already part of the conversation. So it's a big mindset shift, but it's a game changer. And last week when I ran Biohacking Mastery, it hit people that were live with me that maybe had their camera off, maybe they were multitasking. And when I said that to them, I said, you are in the room with me right now, holding this energy. How are you showing up? How are you showing up for you? Do you have your camera on? Are you like all sloppy and not caring, and you're brushing your teeth like while you're doing this? Not that it really matters, but how are you showing up? Is it in line with the person that you're wanting to project? Is it in line with the 2.0 version of you? Is it in line with the evolution you're ready to have in your life? Are you even realizing this? Are you even realizing that anytime you're engaging with someone by email, by phone, by Zoom, in a masterclass, when you're signing up for something for yourself and you're half-assing it, you are stepping on your own opportunities. That's what you're doing. And so you might be thinking like, oh, but all these people are doing it and not me. But that is the essence of the problem, right? Start owning your spot. So when you're listening to a podcast, how are you showing up? Just look at yourself right now. Are you taking notes? Are you wondering? Or are you doing a gazillion things at the same time? And I get it. I see you. I'm also a multitasker. But what's interesting here is, how are you going to take this information and actually take action? And if you want to also own your spot in the room, like post something about it, tag me, be accountable, create a ripple effect in your own network. Start really seeing that you have an influence, that your actions speak volume. And if you're thinking, well, I'm just a stay-at-home mom, because I hear this all the time. Well, listen, you are not just a stay-at-home mom. You are doing the most important and most difficult job out there. And guess who is looking up to you and looking at every single one of your action? Your kids are. And so start by owning that you are in the room at home. The words, the way you talk to yourself, the way you talk to everybody around you, the way you treat yourself, the way you care for yourself, that speaks volume on your leadership. Everybody else is watching. So you can either decide to see that for what it is and just go for it, see that as an opportunity, because that's what life is. It's opportunities offered to you on a silver platter. It's a mindset game. Are you even seeing it? Are you even seeing these as opportunities? Are you stepping into it, or are you self-sabotaging day in, day out? I told you this was going to be lots of hard truths today. And guess what? I'm not trying to be nice. Now, you know I'm nice. But what I mean here is I know that when we are trying to get out of a funk, when we're trying to get a mindset shift, we need a bit of tough love. And if I wasn't owning my own worth, my own truth, if I wasn't sharing with you my journey, my discoveries, my breakthroughs, I wouldn't be able to share and have the impact that I have in this world and help the women that I want to help by helping them rise, reconnect with their inner sense of worth and realize that, gosh, they can do it all. Just like everyone else. You were born worthy. It's a mindset game. Are you self-sabotaging, or are you ready to step it up? So stop being nice. Stop trying to please everybody. Speak your truth. Show your colors. That's how we stand up out in this market right now. Stop trying to be perfect in everything. Be willing to be vulnerable. Communicate. Share that with people. It's 100% magnetic. And the third thing is acknowledge that you are in the room. Own it. Own your spot. Take it seriously. And see if you do these three things, notice how your leadership is going to change, how you run your life, how you go about your own self-care, how you go about your own lifestyle, how you go about managing your team, growing your business. It's going to bring a level of like fire under you. Why? Because you're going to be perfectly aligned. Perfectly aligned. You're not trying or pretending to be someone you're not. And that is magnetic. And that's how we can thrive in this market full of unknown. And that's how we can also protect our nervous system in this situation. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you had some aha moments. If you did, why not acknowledging that you were in this energy with me, and why not sharing it? Come and DM me. Post something about it. Let me know what resonated. Let your network what resonated. Have a conversation with your kids, with your spouse. Do the things that you need to start doing, even if it's not perfect, even if you have not thought it through, and be open to receiving. Be open to receiving the magic that is on the other side waiting for you. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I feel like this is enough to ponder for today, but hopefully you can already start feeling a shift inwards. That's really my goal. That's my goal on this podcast, is to, shake things up a little bit, right? Sometimes we just get too comfortable and we get stuck in our own ways and we become our own worst enemy. And that's not what I want you to do here, because we're here to upgrade your energy, upgrade your life, and support you as you rise and expand. That is what biohacking is. That is what becoming a biohacker is. It's fully owning your worth and really being ready to level up. So I'm here for all of it. As always, if you have any questions, you reach out. If this episode was helpful at all, feel free to share it with anybody that you think would benefit from hearing these things. And of course, as always, I welcome and I'm so grateful. I truly value every single one of your reviews. It humbles me. It keeps me going. It motivates me. I love to hear your stories. So please keep them going. If you have a minute, take a minute to go on Apple Podcasts. Let me know how this podcast has been following you in your life, how it's been impacting you. And also let me know what else you want to hear about. I'm always open to integrating more also of what you are wanting to hear. So thank you again for being here, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Bye for now. The information shared on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't provide any medical advice. Vanessa Grutman does not cure, diagnose, or treat disease. Please consult your physician before trying any new protocol or product.